What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Damage Control. I'm Mookie, joined again here with Darth and Menace, and we got another show here to go ahead and review today's blog post. Lots of things to talk about and kind of catch up with the new characters being released. There's like a new event going on, and just things in particular that we got to jump into. So a lot of information to kind of cover here. Also, we are, just to give you a heads up, we're live on Twitch. So you guys that are joining us live on Twitch will get the full version as far as on what we're discussing here today. Second part of this show on, here Sunday morning is going to be the War Instincts. So we'll kind of go into the gentlemen's rosters, take a look at their offensive setup, kind of break down the theory behind what type of matchups they're looking for, who they're going after, and so forth. So catch that. And as like Willie just joined us. Good morning, Willie. So glad to have you on. And another little tidbit on top of that, our boy Willie, who is on here on Twitch, he does have some stat graphs and so forth that we definitely may start bringing into the show here. So we'll kind of look into a different analytical side of things as far as how numbers play into the game. All right, with that all being said, let's go ahead and introduce the gentleman here. What's up, Darth? How are you doing?
I'm doing real good. Good morning.
Good. And Menace, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you.
All right, good, man. All right, so let me jump over. Hey, what's up? Yeah, how do you pronounce it? So you guys, I don't know if Darth or Menace, if you're looking over into some of the chats here, but we got Nietzsche. What's up? Nietzsche. All right. Hopefully, I'm not butchering up your name too much.
We're ignorant.
Yeah.
Is it Nietzsche, like the philosopher?
Nietzsche, like maybe.
Is it trying?
Let's jump into. All right. So here we go.
See, I get it.
Yeah, all right. Good. All right. I'm glad one of us is into that. Nietzsche, thank you. All right. We're pronouncing it good. We're not butchering it too much. All right. So what the blog post I'm gonna jump into again? I'm only gonna tackle certain points of it. I'm not gonna go into the stories and too much into the whole their kits per se. But the main thing that I wanted to go ahead and do here is I have two separate notes. I want to make sure I'm not missing it because it's a lot of stuff to discover or discuss. But first off, the obvious is the Dark Hunters. Now we went ahead and we got this whole silhouettes have been out there. Now we have the faces to the silhouettes. So it's introducing Dr. Voodoo, and they're also talking about Morbius. Now, as I mentioned, they do have the whole kit breakdown as far as on what they do. There was one thing in particular though that I wanted to stop and just kind of, when I was reviewing this, it was over here on Morbius. I think it was on his story. It was right here. They were just talking about Morbius also assisting with heroes like Blade. And then talked about Elsa Bloodstone and Ghost Rider, which we now know on some of the videos that are out there as far as showing these characters together. Elsa Bloodstone, and Ghost Rider, they're all part of this Dark Hunters team, which, let me bring it up on the gameplay real fast just so y'all can kind of follow what I'm talking about. So here they are. And as you can tell, I already used some silver promotions on her to get her up to my 4-star because she had a stat increase. She's kind of one of the damage characters off of the squad here, so I went ahead and got her to a 4-star. But
I got her right now. I can't wait for this team.
Yeah, and this is kind of where I know even Darth was talking about it. But the reason I was talking about the whole Blade aspect is it just feels as if Blade is going to be the 5th member. Mm-hmm. And they've been talking about Blade since like 2 Halloween ago or so forth, right? Like he was supposed to come out. And I mean, what do y'all think? I mean, I'll let you guys talk about it. So, Menace, what did you think about this team when you heard about them coming out?
I mean, for me, I'm excited because I've always liked Supernatural for a while, and like having guys like Mordo and Doctor Strange just always seemed out of place. So actually to have like a true Supernatural team now, I'm really excited for. Again, I got really good stars already on Ghost Rider. I got him 7 red and fully ready. Elsa 6. So I get lucky on Voodoo and Morbius, and then hopefully I have the unlock for Blade when he eventually becomes the next legendary. I'm gonna have the hell of a squad working.
Yeah, and that's actually what Nietzsche's talking about too, being Blade being legendary and Darth the Green. So what's your take on this whole Dark Hunter team, Darth?
I'm stoked. I'm thrilled. We know they're supposed to counter H for H. I'm extra thrilled because there's a shift in the war meta that's upon us. That's coming this patch. So like the young Avengers are going to switch to the top tier defense, and from what I hear, the counter to them is Weapon X. So you're going to want to move your Weapon X from taking those big Heroes for Hire teams to taking out your young Avengers, and now you're going to need something more reliable than Infinity Watch to take out Heroes for Hire, and this is that answer. So they're selling us a problem for 3 weeks, and then they're selling us a solution for 3 weeks. And I'm far more excited about the solution than the problem. So the stupid thing for them was announcing them both in the same patch, back to back, and then announcing them so close. Because now I know where I want to spend my resources for this patch, and it's at the second half.
Yeah, let me jump back into the blog post here. So breaking down. So I paused. I kind of went. I skipped over to the whole stat up. As far as like Ghost Rider and with Elsa, the only thing I would just kind of summarize in regards to their boost, I mean, other than the stats, is over here is with Elsa. I noticed that it was talking about this being the update on her ultimate, that the characters are killed now that are killed by this attack can't be revived. And that kind of goes into what Darth was just talking about with Heroes for Hire counter. So definitely using her and her having that ultimate go off and not allowing the characters to revive is going to be huge. So that's one takeaway off of that. The Ghost Rider one, just a bunch of stat increase. I didn't see anything too much that kind of came off the radar. That was such like a new ability trait. And then Mordu. What's interesting about Mordu, when you look into some of his little updates and his kit here about the updates that they did, it was nothing too big and it's not too tied onto the whole Dark Hunters. So if anything, it starts talking about with him on offense with 4 Mystic Allies, the chance of blind additional targets are increased by 75%. So use that for your theory crafting. See what you want to go ahead and do as far as throwing Mordu into some other type of mystics. There's tons of mystic characters that all got released that we became accustomed to of using in the Doom raids. So that's probably some theory crafting there. Now this is what I want to kind of talk about a little bit. It's this Knowhere Heist Mystic Flash event. And first I want to ask you, Menace, did you happen to kind of review this blog post? Do you know exactly what the Knowhere Heist event is?
Okay, so I have.
Okay, no, and we'll talk about it. So that's what we're here for. Not that we're experts, but but I did review this. This is interesting, but before I give my take, I wanted to kind of give you guys an opportunity first. What about you, Darth? Did you review this one?
Yeah, it's gonna suck to bring up RACCOON and Invisible Woman and Star-Lord to Gear Tier 15. But it really depends on what those rewards are. If the rewards are awesome and they come back every month, and they're like Elite 7 credits, like a reasonable amount, like 500 or 1,000 maybe. I know it's only 2,500 to open one of those orbs, but as a guy that's only opened 4 of those in my existence, I'm super excited about the ability to gain some more of those.
Yeah. So what I was doing here, let me share. I'm gonna jump over to the gameplay, just setting this up. So this is what Darth was outlining as far as the characters there for the Knowhere Heist roster. And like you said, I mean, we've been playing the game for about 3 years now. The 3 of us here discussing today's show. So obviously, when you look into Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord, the reason why they're up here as far as being at to the G13 level is just because of the whole Dark Dimensions. They were kind of one of the key characters, right? Back in the original, I don't know which one it was, Dark Dimension 2 probably. So that's where they're... Yeah, that's why they're all set up. And then, of course, she was key on the other Dark Dimension for the later one, as far as gearing up Invisible Woman.
I'm surprised you guys didn't bring her into DD4 for the legendary.
I thought about doing it. So where do you have her at G15 already then?
I do.
Yeah, that's right. And she's part of your war defense. I guess, and that kind of leads into the point a little bit that I wanted to take off of it, is that I don't think it's overly terrible, like in my opinion.
No, that's not just Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon are the only ones that are kind of like, well, fuck it, I gotta waste some resources. But
yeah, especially for new characters, right? Or for new players that didn't need to use them. Yeah, that's where it's gonna suck. But like the Kitty Pride, right? Don't we have her kind of geared up for the Doom raids?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, it's 13, but I don't mind taking her to 15.
Correct. And
Like,
then
there's a difference.
Yeah, so that's going to be okay. And then, of course, he was also part of the Doom raids on the tech area, which we'll talk about Darth's take on him a little bit. Well, we'll just bring it up. So what you think about him and your tech? He's now
Oh my gosh,
sitting the bench.
I replaced him with Stitcher, even without Star-Lord T'Challa. He especially on nodes 1 and 3. Like, he does okay on node 2, but node 1 he's just a meat shield, and you just hope he gets beat down. He doesn't do anything but pull out a summon that dies right away. Can't heal you because everybody's heal blocked. He doesn't get his flip on that first one. Most important thing in that first node for me is trying to get Doom through so that he can immediately ult on turn 2 so that it sets up on node 2 so that it sets up me to one-shot node 3.
Yeah. We definitely need to talk about that more in depth as far as like reviewing my tech team and Menaces and just kind of talking about that, because it sounds like you're breezing through it, and that's kind of where, for me, it's RNG related. I can get through it sometimes, other times I just get demolished and only two, characters survive it. So I definitely, it's good that you're sharing your experiences, with us there on our Discord. So I definitely
caveat. It's a 6 red star gear 15 3 blue ISO striker on that Stitcher, and he hits like a truck. Like, so if it was much smaller, I don't know if I would do it. When he was like I said, he's level 85. He's as big as I can make him without actually hitting the button to bring him to gear 16.
Yeah.
So it's he appears to be the 4th best of the hodgepodge of characters that I have for tech.
Damn. Interesting. All right. Well, going back into the whole Knowhere Heist topic into this and jumping off back to the blog post here. The reason why, like for me, when I look into it, I know it sucks to go ahead and gear up some characters that I don't use as much, and that's really going to be the focus on to the Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon, right? But for me, this right here is going to be a monthly event, and I'm treating it like, of course, we don't know what the rewards are, but just the fact that they're talking about rewarding dark promo credits, Elite 7 and Gold.
Enough, yeah, Elite 7's enough for me.
Yeah, it's huge. I think this is huge, that you have to go all in. You just go all in, or what does it take, like, to really go, especially at Darth's pace, when you go all in on a character, what it takes you about a week at the most, less than that?
At the most.
Yeah.
At the most. It's coming soon. I don't know. I might do it. It takes me. I can do it in 2 days as long as I'm smart about it before the characters drop, and I really want to bring Morbius and Brother Voodoo just right up to the top, man. I want them to be just gear 15 day 1. I want to be hammering Heroes for Hire teams on the other side.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why you're gonna do this, and it's real basic. If you did it for your fucking hand team, you're gonna do it for this one.
Yeah, there you go.
Part
That's kind of the point.
Like, if you raised your hand team, you'll raise your Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, no, but I treat it like, you talk about the hand team, right? But then the other one is that other monthly event that they have going on is with the Wakandan, right? For the promos, when you're looking at your gold and silver promo credits, you got the Wakandan team you got to gear up. Now, the biggest difference, and I think this, where the kind of argument's going to be, is that, well, you just have to get the team set up overall. It's not like investing on gear. Like, this is mandatory to enter. It's that you got to get that star and gear level up. So that is the biggest difference. Because I can go in with a weak, Wakandan team and have Shuri carry them all and still get through those, levels. But this one,
I'll say that at this point in time, yeah, the gear is the crunch. But back then, even starring them was the same as trying to gear them. I literally spent money on a Koye because I didn't want to miss it one time. Yeah. So, it happens, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I would definitely go in with it. It just, it's bitter, but the rewards, I'm assuming it's going to be pretty huge. So just kind of take it. It's up to you guys if you want to gear it in all aggressively to go ahead and complete that 7th mission on the first rollout of it. But month to month, you can decide and choose, at what point you want to go ahead and start gearing them up. Now, moving on, let me double check. Sorry, I got notes all over the place. And the next part right here is just to Donald Mac, talking about the celebration here. And I'm kind of a little bit confused. This is where I need a little bit of help from you guys. At least, just what y'all's perspective is off of this statement here. So it talks about for us keeping our eyes on the Marvel Strike Force Facebook page about the Global City Cosmic Pose, where the community will vote between one of two characters that Tadanomac used, and that they're going to be featured in future blitzes. So my guess is that this first part, or the way I'm interpreting it, is that the game itself, Scopely, is going to go ahead and give us the options to vote on characters, that we want to go ahead and see in the future blitzes. And it's going to be between those, those traits, the Global City and Cosmic. The second part of it, then it talks about, and I'm assuming that this is what Tadanomac had elected as far as the characters for the community, is Cloak and or Dagger. And that is going to be rolled out within a 10-day calendar for 100 shards. And it's like either or. And kind of like the way they were released, right, in general. They had to kind of pick or choose, double up, or, do it in halves. But going back, so I guess the question I have in reading this, there's going to be two different characters, right? Are you interpreting it that for sure Tadanomac picked the Cloak and Dagger, and then it's going to be up to the community here to decide on who we want in the future blitzes? Did that sound right? Okay.
So, I've voted on those community polls in the Facebook page before. They come out every once in a while. You just have to follow their page on Facebook, and it'll scroll across your feed.
Okay.
And then it looks like the 10-day calendar with the orbs are going to be basically the old Cloak and Dagger orbs, where you got to choose one character or the other, so you can have a 50 of each or 100 of one, or however you want to do it to get your characters up to the next star level.
Yeah. Okay.
And the problem with that is now that Cloak's farmable, everybody's going to pick Dagger. And same thing with the community blitz. It's going to be one guy you can't farm, and that's the one you're getting.
Correct. Yeah, so I'm not on Facebook, so that's why I never kind of see some of those posts.
All right. So for Nietzsche, we're going to all vote for Cloak if we get to vote, because he doesn't have him at 7 yellows yet. seeing as he's in today, dude, let's do it.
Yeah. So now what the one thing, my take off of this though, I thought it was kind of shady as shit. Because remember how, like, you brought it up, Darth, like you're waiting each Friday blog post to kind of see when Tadanomac was going to come up with his recommended, what his release character is going to be. And what I say was shady is like, well, he completed this back in December or November. I can't remember exactly, but it was last year. The end of last year is when this whole Dark DD5 was completed by Tadanomac. So obviously he already put in a vote. Months here we are in February. They finally give us the drop as far as the news of what characters are going to be released. But in between him finishing and coming through, we started seeing all those Cloak and Dagger offers right in the store to purchase. Yeah,
I bought them.
Right. It was just shady shit. Well, I guess it is a business, but
I think. But honestly, what is 100 shards of either one? I'd have needed to buy those offers anyway. I wasn't 50 shards or even 100 shards of one from maxing the other out, and they were really good deals for new characters, honestly.
Yeah.
Like $5. I spent $20 for 150 shards. I've spent $20 for a lot less shards than that.
Yeah, but it's two different mindsets. So I kind of go within more of the frugal approach on stuff, and I guess that's why I'm being salty about it, is because I'm like, well, I didn't have to spend anything off of it. But you're right. They were like $5 offers is the one I looked at. But it's just like, okay, cool. They got me. It's the way I kind of look at it. All right, then roll out. And then here's kind of like the calendar of events. Now, this one right here, this whole Power of Love calendar is really kind of paying homage to February in general, just it being 28 days. So it is the shortest month of the calendar years, and so anyways, what they did off of here is that because they're missing on certain days, they're going to go ahead and reward us with some power cores and some fragments and so forth. So we're going to get some stuff off of this, and that's going to be on February 9th. And then let me double check. And the other thing, and that's about it. And talking about the Blitz characters, so the first one that's rolling out this week is going to be for Moonbaku, and then the second one is going to be for the big one right here, and I think this is for Darth, and I think Menace is also working on this. It's for Captain Sam. Where you guys have your Captain Sam at?
100 shards.
5 shards. Ooh, I'm about 85 short, so getting the top 100 in that is going to be just perfect.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And I'm doing it. If I can do this, what I'm doing this blitz for the next blitz, and get about 60-something million, I should totally get it.
Nice. And that's about it. Now that kind of wraps the whole blog post there as far as summarizing the big news, as far as what to focus on in the coming days, weeks, and so forth. But what I want to take the time a little bit here is I wanted to go ahead and just kind of think a little bit. And Andy in our alliance kind of brought up something today this morning, just saying like, man, all these character releases coming out. But what's funny is like he wants to go back and work on some older ones. But the concept in general is just like, it is kind of an overwhelming feeling to some that just, kind of that aren't on the game aggressively every single day and so forth. I mean, they have to be in a daily to log in, but I guess trying to focus on teams, individual characters and so forth, everything's just, going all around everywhere. And we'll jump on that one. What I'm trying to get at is looking at these silhouettes here. I know it kind of looks funny. Let me see if I need to fix this.
That's an antique picture.
Yeah, this was the one that was the 2-month, right, release as far as back at the end of the year. So I'm going to try to fix this picture a little bit. All right. And the reason why I wanted to look at this is mainly because, I mean, there was just a lot. I mean, this was the Silver Samurai, but this mainly what I'm looking at is about the spider, the web warriors that came out on this one, right? So Menace, did you get your web warriors to where you feel comfortable? Did you upgrade them enough, or where are they at?
I finally got them all ISO'd up so I can actually use them in Doom, which is fantastic, and that took forever. But yeah, if I think where you're going with this, I actually agree with Andy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah. That's why I wanted to kind of pause here a little bit as far as just kind of thinking back on these character releases and overall trying to get a pulse to see where you guys are at and just kind of talking in general about like how we kind of missed or didn't miss the upgrades. So your crunch off of it was more the ISO for you, Menace?
Yeah, I got stars and like I mean I'm still gearing them because obviously the biomats. Well, half of that's me because I worked on F4 on the side, but every day I'm pulling like one of the biomats that I actually need to try to get them to G14. Once they get out of 14, it'll be easier, but there's still a crunch there. Oh yeah, it's still a pain.
Yeah. So, and here's the shot of my roster there. So I do have them all, ready for the Doom raids, and that's primarily the main focus on the reason why you want to go ahead and gear them up and not really skip over them. And it's twofold. I obviously see this guy. I have him at the teal, G16 level here, and I'm going to do the same thing with Ghost Spider. So I'm going to be bringing them into my DD5, roster lineups for the city. And then how about for you, Darth? I mean, I know you got them all geared up, but is any characters here that you're looking at that you're going to bring into DD5?
Yeah, I want to bring the same 2 in that you're bringing in. I've just been thinking about that the other day. And no, Willie, I don't have a 16 equipped yet. I've got enough to equip them on probably 3 or 4 characters, but I'm trying to be as patient as I can for like the 3rd time in my life, and hold off because my opinions might change with the release of new characters. What if Brother Voodoo becomes awesome global option? Then that might be what I do. Yeah. So yes, I'm slacking, big time. How are your web warriors, Willie?
We're looking at.
But so.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's fine. But as far as for that, dude, like the most important team for us is where our alliance is you got to focus on those raid teams first. So like for that patch that came out there, you got to kind of if you're not doing your bio right, or if your bio lane's the first one, you're having a hard time, man. Then you need to not focus on Magic and T'Challa, and you need to get those web warriors up to do it. Now, fortunately for me, I had enough resources and have been playing long enough that I pretty much brought them all up at once. But I did like hold back on Magic. She's only tier 13, and I don't know if I'm going to raise her anymore. For our level of war, she's not that important. But T'Challa seems to be more important, so he got the 15 love, literally just because he can maybe be a helpful piece in the Doom Raid tech section. Yeah. So this patch is all war, as far as what's coming out this patch. So it's what do you want to focus on? So if you're one of the guys that's in our alliance that's not doing the raids well, you should totally take this patch half off, get the characters and get all the shards you can, but for us, we should have been there months ago. We should have been done with our raid characters, but some guys aren't, so they should take this patch to get there. Yeah.
And before we jump into that part of it, just to kind of end the one last piece of this little silhouette, which is Star-Lord T'Challa. So with Star-Lord T'Challa, obviously that became the whole the Ravager group, and then that all came into the more offensive things. But with Star-Lord T'Challa, he definitely is an interesting, character in which Darth is already talking about what he's doing with that Ravager squad, even now, speaking of Doom Raids, and what he's doing with that group. I'll let you go ahead and, definitely talk about that a little bit more here in depth. So what do you think about the whole Ravager and with Star-Lord T'Challa? Like, where do you have this roster at right now, Darth?
Let's see, I got 14s on everybody. T'Challa is 15, Stitcher is 15, and Ravager is 12, the Bruiser. I don't know that I'm going to do much with him. I've been watching some videos where Hawkeye seems to be a better replacement for the turn meter removal at the beginning of the match. Starts getting that team going. So I've been going with that because my Hawkeye was already built further than my Bruiser, and the Bruiser requires a good amount of T4s in him. I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck here. So, but like the payout's been Stitcher, believe it or not. Like I'm inches away from bringing my Stitcher to Gear 16. Like I'm so close. I almost have hit the button a lot of times. But a lot of that's because the one piece of teal gear he needs besides his unique I got from Pocket Dimension. So it's right next to it's almost a zero cost, and I don't have anybody else I think that I would even want to bring up that's using that gamma. But that's the other reason I haven't done it yet. Because what if in in the next patch the best character ever comes out and he's that, and now I'm short and I don't have my gamma radiation to bring him up to 16. So
how's your tech resources doing?
So far, I had tons. I haven't invested in tech characters for months and months and months and months. There was Misty, and then there was nobody, and then there was Lady Deathstrike, and then there was nobody. And so now, like it's not as much as it once was, but it's not bad at all. It's not like my Mystic gear or my Mutant gear. My Mystic and my Mutant gear are the ones that are suffering right now.
Okay. And how about for you, Menace? I mean, have you been able to focus on this team? Probably
not really, man. That's the problem. That's where I thought you were going with this whole thing.
Yeah, it's the flip side of it. No, yeah.
They got this team, and mind you, who put any love into Ravagers before then? Like T'Challa, you knew you had to do. But to have that's a decent squad. There's 4 different guys you have to invest in, and now you got to go back and do the new Warriors, and then even then, now on top of that, you even got the Dark Hunters now. So you got 5 teams, and within feels like 5 minutes that you have to completely gear up. And I feel like it's one of these deals where Mobile Gamer or somebody needs to get there and be like, "Yo, hit the brakes for a second. You guys are going a little too crazy for us."
Yeah. So this team right here, I mean, so you can tell I just kind of did a mediocre, as far as pick and choose, as far as who I'm gearing up. And it is definitely, T'Challa's the one I'm looking at. Obviously, since he's the one out there highlighted with the gold, circles. But I've been on the. I just
sorry, I'm reading chat.
No,
Nietzsche's on my side.
No, he's awesome. But what's funny about like the Stitcher thing right here is like I wanted to ask you because I haven't really dug deep into the Doom Raid yet. Obviously, he's not even ready to put into it. But is it like when you're going into the attacks, really his basic is just that badass? Is that's like an ultimate when you use it at times?
I make sure they got a vulnerable, and if they've got a vulnerable and defense down from T'Challa, it just deletes the character. It's crazy. Like the first damage is 500k or something like that. Like the first damage is 500k, and then I don't pay attention because I just laugh because my stupid Ravager that I planned on never ever investing into is one-shotting characters in Doom Raid.
That's crazy.
And his heal is huge. Like I said, he's so much more useful than Doc Ock.
You're talking about this one right here?
Yeah. Percent health damage. That's fantastic.
To the ally, most injured ally. So instead, now if you happen to put Doc Ock in there, he's like saving Doc Ock at times.
Yeah, that would be it. And so you said RNG doesn't let Doc Ock always be the meat shield. I mean, if you're not doing anything progressively for the team, and Doc Ock damage wasn't doing anything, he wasn't one-shotting anybody, that's for sure.
Yeah, Doc Ock was a waste.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, that's a lot to talk. I mean, Ravagers, we can go on and on, because then about them in war and the hybrid teams it can do and all that kind of good stuff. I mean, it's kind of all over the map. But let me kind of get into the next half and kind of the whole point about this conversation here, like Menace was guessing on. It's just now we got this, patch that's just been completed. When we talk about who was this? Someone to say Maya, but what is her name in the game? It's Echo. So we got Echo. What's this? Kate Bishop, and then now the Voodoo that just came out, and then Morbius. So right here, we're still, to the point I was trying to get at is I know some people are still trying to work on the Web Warriors, some people are still trying to work on the Ravagers, and then now you got to go ahead and start looking at the Young Avengers squad coming through, and then you got, so like you said, I mean, you hit it already, Darth, and you kind of, you jumped into the whole, you hit it right on the nail as far as saying that this patch, the one that's just being like this release coming out here with these characters, is all war eccentric. And depending on where you're at in the game, if you need to go ahead and catch up time and get your raid characters going, it's perfect time to do that. And then, we'll talk about this whole war setup here in a second as we go into the War Instincts video. I'm trying to think of the name, the mirror image. So I want to close out, just get y'all's takes, y'all's opinion as it just started. This is going to be another like 2-week event here that we're going through. But with you, Menace, I mean, what's your takeaway as far as on this mirror image event? Are you liking it, disliking it? How do you feel about it in general?
It's stupid. I'm just taking what I can get out of it and putting a little bit of teal gear into it. I don't know how many shards I'll end up getting from it in the end, but it's not the best.
And how about for you, Darth? Are you liking this one, or what's your feel?
I don't know. I would like events to be more completable for like $100. It's really expensive to try to complete this, but I mean, I've got some core saved, and I'm going to do the best I can. Like, I'm taking advantage of the double ISO drops today and yesterday. I'll take advantage of any energy drops. I'm going to spend my 400 cores a day between the two at least, getting as much energy as I can. I almost do that daily anyway, though. I don't know that I'm going to do too much extra. I wish it would feel better if blitz points counted towards this, not just the fighting spirit, which lasts 3 days, which I completed on like 6 or 7 rotations. Before my first day was over of blitzing, I'd completed that, just like you had. So I wish that was I wish it was a daily event. Then it might feel a little better, or an every 2-day event. It just seemed a little quick for me, especially with how much I blitz, actually, at least right now, how I'm blitzing.
Well, look at even the points. I mean, the imprints that you're getting off of it, completing like a milestone is only 390. So they're like basically giving you like some pennies and nickels, because you would need to complete 3 milestones in order to buy one purchase here on the roster. So on the roster, the supply store over here. Let's get to it. Sorry, these pop-ups. But yeah, where am I at? Over here. So 369. Yeah. I mean, for me, my take off of it is like, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm not a Kraken, and I get it, as far as on the focus on what they want to squeeze, as much as they can for those people that are, wanting to. I mean, this is really where all the rewards are, right? It's on this. I mean, I guess on this whole milestone, like, what's your? I didn't look into the math. I haven't caught up on any, the Boylon maths out there and kind of seeing what's a breakdown. And I kind of, leave it to you, Darth, to kind of, do you have like a milestone marker? Like what milestone are you trying to get at, or what's realistic for us in general? Do you know what milestone that is?
30. I watch some more brainy people than I am do math. I think it's 35 or something like that. Maybe 31. Go down a couple more. Okay, yeah, 34. I think the free-to-play milestone you can complete according to Boylon, who I watch for his math, because I don't do math, and his numbers, because he seems to be right. He says that's the free-to-play that you can get. Spending, I think it's even less than, I think it's only spending 200 cores a day on the regular energy. So if you do what I do, I'm kind of hoping to get to 35, because I'm literally 3 gold promos short of 100, and I got some characters I'd like to take to 6 red.
If you 6 red Ravager Stifter, I'm gonna be very pissed off at you.
He's already 6 red, bro. I'm gonna wait for 50 more, and I'm gonna 7 red him.
God. So, where you at, Menace? Have you kind of peeked over to see what milestone? Do you know where you're at right now?
Right now I am not. I'm at. Hold on 1 second here. Yeah, not far at all. I'm like fucking 5, dude.
Really? Damn. How about you, Darth? Where you at?
I don't know. I've been spending my shit though. I'm looking forward to getting some characters to Gear 16.
Yeah, I haven't really been spending them, but let me see here. Let me spend some, see what
I
happens.
haven't spent them yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I am at 11, milestone 11. I just completed 10. I got milestone 11 as my next one. I'm right where you are.
Okay, cool. And she's on 8 right there. So, yeah, I was just kind of curious about this one. I almost forgot about bringing it up in the first half of the show here, but it's something that,
Sucks.
yeah. And it was crazy. Like, if you're saying that the free to play is going to stop around that 33 area, then that means, like, even that's the only thing I would take away that I think they missed the mark is that I get, as far as like, pushing it harder for Krakens to get into these teal gear rewards. But when you have her over here, as 50 character shards on milestone 38, I mean, I think the free to play approach, I think the reward balance is off.
Yes.
I mean, that's
This
the
is
main thing.
This is a FU free to play players kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I won't even get it a 5 stars. So,
Yeah.
and usually buying one pack, which is what I do.
Well, for the fact that she's not even part of the store, like that's the sad part about it. It's like I again, I get the concept as far as wanting to push for dollars and certain things, but you have to have a balance as far as where to still make it fun for the free to play people that are looking to collect characters and things like that. And she's not even part of an option here for where they want to spend her imprints. But obviously, for me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you shear a sheep, you don't skin them, and that's the problem they're doing right now. They got so much going on. It's money, 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 right? And I get it. It's the end of the year, or whatever they want, whatever the reason it is. But every once in a while, they do this where they go full in. Hey, you got to spend so much money to actually even to get any of this stuff, and then it alienates. Probably 90% of the community versus that 10% that's actually able to do this. They just get dumb. I don't know why they keep getting this idea that this is a good idea to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking the balance of the rewards, as far as just at least getting the character part as part of an option there. But, obviously my store purchases are all going towards these, the teal gears. There was something that I was going to also add on to.
Like it's basic stuff. Like I'm not, I don't know, a lot of my refreshes is, it's not the things you need. It's just some random garbage that you already have way too much of.
Yeah. And here's the last part. Talking about the gears. That is just whole ranking rewards. Now, Dart, do you have what's your gut feeling? Where do you think you're going to land at the pace that you're kind of going with? What's your normal day-to-day approach? Do you think your normal day-to-day is going to get you within that top 1 to 5%?
I think that's where I'll land by the end. I'm hoping. Like I think that with my extra effort, I think enough people are gonna fuck this event off, and not as what the percentage of people doing the most of the most is super small. They're gonna be in the top 1%. So that gives me a few more percents. And I'm not gonna be sad if I don't, because like I pulled a five red on her. I haven't pulled a 5 red on characters forever, and then I just pulled a 5 red on her this morning. So it's not nearly as exciting as it was to try to push for that 1 to 5%.
Yeah.
But I think if I did nothing besides my daily stuff, I'd get 6 to 10. But with my little extra pushes, I might get to 1 to 5.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, that's kind of where my goal is. I want to get in that range as well. And this one here this is interesting. This is a specific teal unique orb. So I don't know if you guys looked at that, but that's all in regards to the actual uniques. So it's kind of a big deal, as far as trying to get the most orbs that you can and look at that drop off. If you go into that 6 to 10% range, I happened to catch Boylan's little rant video where he was kind of the same boat with me with the Ghost Spider, but for him was the Star-Lord T'Challa, where he was off by a couple, I don't know, thousands, 100 spots or whatever it was, but he went down to that lower ranking. But yeah, 28k of those orbs down to 14. So we'll see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. But definitely, it's an interesting event. So we'll wrap it up, guys. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Catch us on, onto the YouTube channel there. You'll see this video on here, but we're gonna jump onto the War Instincts. So we'll jump into that. But again, for the YouTubers, I hope you enjoy your Sunday mornings and your week. And we'll catch y'all, for the next show of Damage Control next Sunday.